I want to say a little bit of a happy birthday to India, the nation of India, turning 73 today. So this one's just for you. Now, we're going to talk about Article 370. Last week we talked about the argument for Kashmir from both the Indian and Pakistani side. Here we're going to talk about the morals and the ethics and the benefits of repealing 370. But before I get this out, I want to say this segment and this video is at personal shout out to our dear and beloved friend. This week I had someone who claimed to be part of the Pakistani government tell me that I shouldn't post things without clearing it with the Pakistani government first. So I just want to say to the country of Pakistan, this video is for you. Kisses. Kisses for Balochistan, which was taken over, this time 73 years ago, illegally. And there's currently a genocide going on there. So hello, Pakistani government. Nice to meet you. Now, the Pakistani government is very upset that Article 370 is being repealed. Who else is upset? Jeremy Corbyn's upset. Linda Sarsour is upset. The NDP is upset. Chrystia Freeland. Let us read what Chrystia Freeland is saying right now. What is Chrystia Freeland saying on Article 370? This is Canada's brilliant, brilliant stateswoman, Chrystia Freeland. The Honourable Chrystia Freeland, Foreign Minister's Affairs, today issued the following statement. Canada continues to closely follow the developments of Jammu and Kashmir. In recent days, I have spoken to many Canadians, including Canadians of Kashmiri descent, who have family in Jammu and Kashmir, about this important issue. Like them, Canada is concerned about the risks of escalation, infringements on civil rights, and reports of detentions. We encourage meaningful discussions and consolidations with affected communities. We call on all parties to maintain peace and stability along the lines of control in the region. So we're against the risk of escalation. Fun fact, today's Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, called for jihad! Jihad against India. Yes, he did. And condemnations from where? I'm waiting. Linda Sarsour, Chrystia Freeland. Where are the condemnations of the calls for jihad from Imran Khan? Deaf. Oh, shocking. Now, let's see another. What does Pakistan's Minister of Science have to say to de-escalate this entire thing? I appeal to all Punjabis in the Indian Army to refuse to be part of injustice and deny duty in Kashmir. This is the Science Minister. Insert joke here about Pakistani Minister of Science. So as you see, the Pakistanis clearly are maintaining a level head with their calls to jihad and funding of terrorism, as they do. And again, we were against detentions and deportations. Hello, Chrystia, where are you in Balochistan? Yes, the genocide and the people disappearing in Balochistan. Paging Minister Freeland, can we get a statement on the Baloch people, please? Now, Article 370, what it does is it takes away the status for Jammu and Kashmir to make their own laws. Now, we're worried about civil rights. Chrystia Freeland is in a panic about civil rights. Now, this is a bad day for pedophiles because one of the special laws that Jammu and Kashmir was able to keep, child marriages. You're allowed to marry a child the age of 9 in Kashmir. Now, it's illegal in the rest of India, and now since Article 370 has been repealed, raping 9-year-old girls is now illegal. I'm very, very in favor of any anti-pedophilia motions. Turns out Chrystia Freeland is worried about this, very worried about how the pedophiles in Kashmir might react. Oh no, cry me a river. The other things that have been repealed. Now, triple divorce. We know the concept of Islamic divorce, where a husband can just say talaq, 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 or divorce, 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 you're divorced. And in Kashmir, there are no protections against this until now, right? Women who are divorced, there's no alimonies, no anything. You basically just end up homeless on the street. You're destitute. So husbands could keep their wives hostage under this draconian law. That's gone. Third, another great win for women in Kashmir region. So there are stupid, stupid protectionist laws in Kashmir. One of those is, if you're a woman in Kashmir and you marry someone from outside the province of Kashmir, you lose your citizenship and all your land. Right? If you own any property in Kashmir and you marry a non-Kashmiri, they confiscate everything from you. You lose citizenship, you lose everything. Funny enough, men can marry whoever they want and there's no repercussions. Shocking. Shocking, shocking, shocking. So I think that's a good thing. Women in Kashmir now have full rights. There's equal citizenship for men and women. Chrystia Freeland's very, very worried about this. So is Linda Sarsour and the NDP. They're very worried. Now, this is the moral argument, right? If any self-respecting liberal, if they look at what Article 370 repeals and what laws it makes, way for, if you're against this, you're against liberalism, in my view, right? So before we just, go off on these tangents, oh no, we're worried about escalation and civil rights. Crimea River, you didn't say anything about child marriages and the abuse of women in this region for 73 years. Don't start now. Now they're starting to gain rights. It's perverse. It's an inversion of reality. Now, there's another thing that is important to note on this, on 370. Here is the economic argument. Now, there's going to be people mad in Kashmir, but you have to understand, there's other economic protectionist laws that Article 370 gets away from. Kashmir has been so isolationist and protectionist as there's been a huge push for Islamists, and there's really three families that run Kashmir. Kashmir, it's like a quasi-Sharia feudal state. Think, Game of Thrones, but instead of dragons, it's mobs of angry Islamists. You're not allowed to have foreign investment in Kashmir. Kashmir is economically destitute despite having resources and capital not to be, right? When you outlaw foreign investment in a place and everything has to be funded by the government and the government is corrupt and run by three families, it's going to lead to widespread poverty, which there is widespread poverty in Kashmir. With the repeal of these laws and with reasonable economic conditions going to be restored there, this is going to be good for everyone in Kashmir. Now, the left, Islamists will never tell you this about Muslims, but here's the great secret about Muslims. Muslims, like every other people, are people. And people everywhere benefit from good policy. And people everywhere are hurt by bad policy. Good policy, which is allowing foreign investment into Kashmir, allowing it to function like a 21st century economy, allowing it not to be run by a feudal quasi-mafia Sharia state, is good for everyone. Over the next 10 to 20 years, you're going to see massive improvements in the quality of life of everyone in Kashmir. Muslim, Hindu pundits, middle class, lower class. Except for those three ruling families, everyone else in Kashmir will have massive benefits. So this is good for the people of Kashmir. And this is not what they'll tell you. This is, again, Chrystia Freeland is very concerned about all this. Very, very concerned. And as I said last week, what is the Pakistani claim to Kashmir? It's an Islamist claim. Pakistan's claim to Kashmir is there are Muslims in Kashmir, and because Muslims are not run under Sharia law and because Muslims might be subjected to the rules of non-Muslims, this is somehow oppression of Muslims here in Pakistan. It's a crazy claim, it's an Islamist claim, and it's an invalid claim. So that's all you need to know about Article 370, and when you hear Jeremy Corbyn and Linda Sarsour and Jagmeet Singh and Chrystia Freeland worrying about Kashmir and saying how bad this is, ask them, do you support pedophilia? Do you support the repression of women's rights? Do you support draconian laws? Right? Ask them to support this. Because this is what they're supporting when they're worried about the actions of India. And the other thing here is, let's be honest, Kashmir, it's like the Golan Heights. It's a heavily mountainous region. There's tons of terrorist groups funded by the ISI inside of Kashmir. You can't cede territory that is important military strategic significance, especially your own territory, if it's, right, it's the high ground. You can't cede the high ground to terrorists. And this is good for everyone there. So that's all you need to know about Article 370 and Kashmir. So again, happy birthday, India.